Hello, this is Rabbi Babich. Psalm number 14 is almost identical to Psalm number 53. Rashi explains that they both relate to a similar yet different event. Psalm 14 addresses the destruction of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar, while Psalm number 53 discusses the destruction of the second temple by Titus. The psalmist explains that these wicked individuals caused the Jewish people great pain, yet they were not fazed in the slightest. Ochlei ami, they devoured my people. Achlu lechem, yet they continued to eat bread. They continued to enjoy a meal as if nothing had happened. Rashi explains which meal the psalmist is referring to. After Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Jerusalem and the first temple, the Jewish people remained in exile for a number of years. As the exile prolonged, Nebuchadnezzar's grandson, Belshazzar, threw a party, and he ordered that the vessels from the holy temple be brought so that he and others can drink from them, to drink wine from them. So this is the meal that the psalmist is referring to. They debased the holy temple, yet it did not bother them in the slightest. While this offensive act was taking place, mysterious writing suddenly appeared on the walls of the palace. The writing predicted that Belshazzar was about to be punished and that his rule would now come to an end. That very night, Belshazzar was assassinated. And this is the source of the expression, the popular expression, the writing is on the wall. So the psalmist explains that these wicked people mistake God's inaction as a sign that the Almighty does not exist. They declare, Ein Elokim, there is no God. But what they do not realize is that God is extremely patient, and that at times he is slow to act. He likes to give people a chance to correct their ways on their own. But when the time comes for God to act, God's response can arrive swiftly. And this is exactly what happened to Belshazzar. It appeared to him that God was not around, and for some times he did whatever he pleased. But when God decided to intervene, his response occurred extremely quickly. And this is not only true in terms of when the Almighty decides to chastise, it is also true when the Almighty decides to deliver. Joseph spent 12 years in prison before he was released. However, when the time of redemption arrived, it occurred very quickly. The Torah says, Vayikra el Yosef, Paro sent for Joseph, Vayiritzuhu min habor, and they rushed him from the pit. The Sforno explains, Kederach ko tishuos Hashem, shenasis kamo rega, just like all the deliverances of Hashem, which can happen in a moment. And Isaiah said, Ki krova yishuasi lavo, for my salvation is near to come. And this is an important lesson for all of us during this difficult time. Although the epidemic continues on, and there are reports that it may last for some time, it does not mean that the Almighty is not around. It does not mean that Hashem is not on the scene. Hashem is always around, and the salvation can occur very quickly. This is how Hashem operates. David concludes the psalm with a statement of hope. When the Lord returns the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, Israel shall be glad. This psalm is a reminder that we too must retain our hope. We must keep our chins high. We must not fall into despair or depression, because the salvation of the Almighty can occur extremely quickly. We must remember that once again Israel shall rejoice, just as King David predicted in Psalm number 14. Please remember to recite the psalm for all those who are ill, and I wish you a wonderful day.